So Vin Diesel's new film Bloodshot has finally dropped. So how is it? Let's talk about it.
Oh, that's not good.
So I was hearing some pretty bad reviews for Bloodshot. Not a lot of people liked it. Some people said it was a fun time. Some people said it was a big mess. And what do I think of Bloodshot? Yeah, I would say it's a bit of a mess. This isn't a horrible film by any means. Just from what I was expecting at least a fun popcorn action movie starring Vin Diesel. That's at least what I was expecting I was going to get. Part of it was that kind of dumb, schlocky blockbuster with Vin Diesel. But another part of it, and most part of this film, which actually pretty surprised me, is a pretty dull, boring, and just messy film that was probably maybe the worst written film of the year. Now, there's been worse films, like Doolittle, but this film's plot and screenplay is so messy and so convolutedly jumbled together, and it feels rushed, that it kind of baffles me that this film, people thought it was good enough to be released. Because this film, there is a good, at least decent film underneath this movie. And I feel like it's there, but I feel like this film didn't portray it in a way that is really a coherent film. Vin Diesel in this film plays the character he always plays, this invincible person. He just kind of feels like Dominic Toretto from the Fast and Furious films, only invincible. He's fine. He's not amazing. I'm waiting for Vin Diesel to actually play a great character, but really, he plays the exact same character. He knows what characters he likes to play, and he likes to play these kind of tough men, and that's what he likes to play. But his performance is fine. He's fine in the film. He seems like he's having a fun time. He seems like he's a nice guy in real life. He's fine. The rest of the cast, though, especially the villain of this film, is one of the most cliched villains I've ever seen in a couple years, actually. A really long time. It's so cliched. The villain in this film, or I guess villains in this film, is really bad. You know what the villain is going to be from the get-go, and it's really bad. Like, extremely. What surprised me so much about Bloodshot of how really uninteresting the first 30 minutes of this film are. They're setting up Vin Diesel's character, and that's fine. You have to set up the character so you understand this character and his relationship with his wife before they both get murdered. But it's so uninteresting and so disjointed that we really only get 3 minutes of them together in the whole film. 3 to 4 minutes of them for this whole hour and 40-minute film, and that's really sad. I'm not saying spend an hour to an hour and a half with these characters, but a bit more would have made me care a lot more about these characters. But then once you see the film, you're like, why was I supposed to care about these characters anyway? Of course, no spoilers, but when you learn the twist of the film, which is very obvious, by the way, you're like, why was I supposed to care about these characters anyway? They just kind of reverse it in a way. Anyway, I'm trying to get myself around without spoiling, but they kind of just do an Uno reverse on this film, and it really doesn't work. The action sequences are fine. They're not amazing. At times, they can be really enjoyable. At times, they can be, okay, that was fun. But at times, they either rely too much on slow motion. Like, the first big action scene in this film relies so much on slow motion. There's some really cool slow motion shots when, like, he gets shot and then the particles put himself back together. That's a cool shot. But then, especially with the final fight, CGI-heavy, full CGI rendered faces. This film had a pretty low budget. I think it was like $7 million or something like that. That's a pretty small budget. But this film is trying to be a $152 million budget. With this film's budget and what the effects that they had, can't do this. These full CG rendered Vin Diesel going around punching people, it just doesn't work. It kind of takes you out of this film immediately, and I found that very disappointing. The plot and script of this film is really bad. It feels jumbled, it feels rushed in a way, because the first 30 minutes of this film are really badly paced. They're very slow, but then they fast pace through these other moments that I think needed more time to develop. This isn't a long movie. It's like an hour and 40 minutes or something. It's not a long movie. But I feel like there should have been more time developed to other things than it should have been. The film is really cliched. The writing at times is really bad. And Bloodshot isn't a horrible film. It's not. It's an enjoyable film that you can sit back and relax and just enjoy the film. I was just very disappointed in this film. I wanted this film to at least... I wasn't expecting an amazing film, but I was at least expecting a fun film. Vin Diesel has always brought at least a fun movie. And with Bloodshot, times that there's some action sequences that are fun. And then there's some slow motion sequences that are enjoyable. But the villain, the screenplay, the plot, the script, all of it feels rushed and really not that interesting. And overall, Bloodshot is a film that I really wish I liked a lot more. I'm going to give Bloodshot a C-. So those are my thoughts on Vin Diesel's new film, Bloodshot. What do you think of it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, you guys can subscribe. If you like this video, probably like my other content. Hit that like button as well if you guys really enjoy this video. You guys can check out my podcast, the Two Peas in a Pod podcast. I do every single Tuesday morning with a friend of mine. I hope you guys come and enjoy that. You guys can also check out my Instagram at General_Daniel77. You guys can also check out my gaming channel at General Daniel Gaming. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. General